Sila po ay gumagawa ng dredging at wala man lang paalam. At ang masama pa nito, itong mga nagde-dredge, gumagawa ng dredging ng black sand, mga Chinese vessels. At yung mga buhangin natin dito, yung mga black sands dito, dinadala sa China. So kinukuha na nga nila yung West Philippine Sea, pati ba naman yung mga buhangin natin, kukunin pa rin nila. Yung mga isda natin, papatay nila.
In other words, triple whammy effect sa ating bansa ito. Kasi yung kinukuhang sand, kinukuhang lupa, binibigay pa natin sa China para mag-reclaim, maggawa ng mga artificial islands, no? Para andito na lang sila sa tabi natin, tabi-tabi. I could say this is tantamount to treason because you're aiding a foreign country which is actually a threat to our national security.
Eto na mga boss, kakapasok lang na balita. Grabe yan China, nahuli na. Nagulat ang China kay Senator Rapi Tulfo. Tayanig ang Senado, papalayasin na sa Pinas. Ayon sa nakalap nating impormasyon, galit na galit sa China si Senator Rapi Tulfo matapos nilang hakutin ang lahat ng buhangin sa Pinas. Ayaw tigilan ng mga Chinese vessel ang West Philippine Sea. Dinedredging nila ang black sand sa Pinas tapos ililipat lahat sa Beijing. Dapat na daw natin silang mapigilan. Paalisin na natin sila dito. Tinutulan ni Senator Rapi Tulfo ang negosyo doon ng mga Chekwa dahil pag naubos daw doon ang lupa, mawawala ang mga isda. Ito pakinggan nyo, sasabihin sa China ni Senator Rapi Tulfo. Magtatakbuhan ng mga Chino, walang takas ang mga Chekwa.
Mr. President, may we recognize our distinguished colleague, Senator Rafi Tulfo, to avail of the privilege hour.
Senator Rafi Tulfo is recognized for the privilege hour.
Thank you, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues, I speak before you today on a matter of personal and collective privilege. I would like to raise an alarm regarding the continued dredging activities in our country. Di po kakayanin ng konsensya ko na manahimik sa bagay na ito dahil kinabukasan ng ating kalikasan at ng industriya ng pangingisda ang nasa peligro.
O yung mga maka-China dyan, makinig kayo, lalong-lalo na yung mga senador na bumoto para hindi palayasin dito ang China. Ito, sagutin nyo.
Mr. President, with almost 10% of the world's coral reefs, large swaths of mangrove forest, and more marine protected areas than any other country, the Philippines is considered the center of global coral ecosystem biodiversity. As such, our coastal waters serve as a source of livelihood of 1.9 million registered small-scale fishers and their families. These small-scale fishers catch nearly half of the Philippines' fish supply. Furthermore, the Philippines fisheries sector generates more than 3.3 billion pesos a year.
O no wonder bakit gustong agawin sa atin ng West Philippine Sea ng China. Sobrang yaman natin dyan sa isda. Buhay na buhay ang mga Chekwa pag nakuha nila sa atin yan.
I cannot overemphasize the need to protect this industry, not just for the livelihood of our fisher folks, but for our food security as a nation. Kaya para na po akong sirang plaka pagdating sa dredging. Ang daming committee hearings at budget hearings na kwenisyon ko po ang ilang dredging activities. Nagsimula po ito nung lumapit sa aking opisina ang ilang concerned citizens ng Zambales na naalarma sa tuloy-tuloy na dredging activities na sinasagawa sa kanilang bayan. Nasisira po ang kanilang dalampasigan na dating dinadayo ng mga turista.
O di ba? Gusto talagang sirain yan ng China para magutom yung mga kababayan nating malapit dyan para mapilitan silang mag-alisan.
At ang marine ecology ay apektado kaya damay pati ang fishing livelihood. Before the production of bangus and bangus fish fry provided local fishing communities with earnings of at least 5,000 to 13,000 pesos per day for fishers. But the quality of the water and the marine habitat has changed and their harvest has been affected. Ang sinasagawang dredging doon ay protektado ng LGU ng Zambales, kasamang DPWH at naaprubahan ng DNR bilang river restoration noong 2021 pa daw. Pero bakit nasa dagat na ang mga dredging vessels? Bakit naghahakot na lang sila ngayon ng buhangin? Bakit hindi matapos-tapos ang river restoration? Sa tingin ko po, hindi na ito river restoration kasi mismo ang provincial government ng Zambales ang nagmamalaki at nagmamayabang na ang main source na income nila sa kanilang probinsya ay ang dredging at quarrying.
O bakit hindi nyo kondinahin to, mga senador na bumoto, na panig sa China? Nasaan kayo pag kailangan kayo?
Pagkatapos po ng Zambales, sunod-sunod na ang mga lumapit sa akin na reklamo tungkol sa dredging. Sa Mamburao, Occidental Mindoro, pareho po ang kwento. The dredging is allegedly for river restoration by the provincial government to prevent flooding. However, locals report that the dredging is occurring about 1,500 meters from the river mouth in the sea, indicating a different purpose, such as extracting sand for commercial use. Nung inilapit sa akin, agad-agad din naman po napaalis ng LGU at natigil ang dredging. Ibig sabihin, hindi litimo ang operasyon. May lumapit din po sa amin na taga Gloria Oriental Mindoro. Ganon din po ang kwento. Fundraising ng LGU disguised as river restoration. Mr. President, ang nangangamba sa mga dredging operations na ito ay ang ating mga mangingisda. But despite the importance of the Philippine coastal fishing sector, they are not protected from these dredging operations. Large-scale fishers' average catch per day has decreased steadily for decades. They now spend more time at sea, going further and further from home for small yields. Mr. President, I fully understand that there are several circumstances when dredging is needed, including the maintenance of waterways for ships, as well as the cleaning of pollutants in bodies of water surrounding cities. However, environmental groups have flagged that excessive dredging can lead to environmental harm, particularly the destruction of marine life. Kaya nilapit po namin ito, mga dredging activities sa Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources o BFAR. Binigyan namin sila ng mga listahan ng dredging projects galing sa DNR upang alamin kung apektado ba ang mga ating mga mangingisda. BFAR acknowledged that it was often not consulted or involved in the planning, implementation, or monitoring of DPWH-led dredging projects. BFAR reported documented impacts on fisheries, including saltation, turbidity, mangrove damage, and disruption of fishing grounds. After requiring its regional offices to conduct an investigation, BFAR flagged 12 questionable dredging activities in rivers and coastal areas from Pangasinan, Ilocos Norte, Cagayan, Nabota, Zambales, Oriental Mindoro, Occidental Mindoro, Sultan Kudarat, and South Cotabato. In its report, stated the following findings. Number 1, lack of environmental compliance. Multiple dredging projects were undertaken without ECCs or without ECCs being shared with BFAR. Impact on fisheries were not integrated into environmental assessments. Number 2, absence of BFAR clearance. The projects often proceeded without BFAR's letter of number objections or LONO. That's why BFAR was not able to conduct fisheries impact assessment, impose safeguards, or monitor compliance with regulations. Number 3, weak interagency coordination. DPWH, LGUs, and private contractors implemented projects without formal coordinations with BFAR. Thus, BFAR involvement was often reactive, triggered only by complaints or Senate inquiry. And number 4, fisher folks marginalization. Fisher folks are suffering from reduced fish catch, income loss, and increased water turbidity and noise. BFAR said that these impacts were not systematically documented prior to project approval. The problem with our DNR is namimigay lang sila ng ECC. If walang nakatingin, basta-basta na lang nag-i-issue ng ECC, depende sa sinasabing sa magkanong pilak na pwedeng ibigay. Walang genuine concern for our environment. An example is a year ago, the DNR canceled the ECC of a 51-hectare reclamation project in Coron, Palawan. The cancellation was too late because hectares of coral reef and seagrass beds had already been destroyed. A biophysical assessment showed that 27% of corals died, while the remaining corals were slowly dying due to sedimentation. The irreversible damage has been done, and it would take many years and huge amounts of money to rehabilitate the damaged ecosystems, with no assurance that it would be restored to its original pristine state. The same is happening with the marine ecosystem. It will take decades to recover from the damage. In the meantime, the people suffer. We must put a stop to this, Mr. President. Let me highlight the recommendations of BFAR. Number one, there must be a mandatory BFAR clearance before dredging. Number two, interagency coordination with DPWH and DENR. Number three, fisheries impact assessments as part of environmental studies. And number four, joint monitoring enforcement. My office will look into filing a bill that would establish policies to limit sand extraction directly from beaches and their nearshore zones, prohibit offshore dredging near sediment-starved coasts, use sediment budget studies and shoreline change maps before any extraction is approved, restore reefs and mangroves to help retain sediments and reduce wave energy. And finally, we must engage local communities in monitoring and beach profiling to detect early signs of erosion. And this should not be superficial regulations as being done by DNR. Dapat itigil na ng DNR ang pagiging reactive lang. Dapat po ay proactive. Hindi yung maghihintay lang kung may magreklamo. We have a relatively new DNR Secretary, Secretary Popoy Lutilla. I worked well with him nung sa Department of Energy pa po siya. I hope that he is genuinely for the environment, di tulad nung nakaraang Secretary. That he is protecting our future for the next generation. Because when it comes to our environment, what's done is done. The only remedy we have is prevention. I hope for the support of my colleagues. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the permission of the sponsor, may I rise to manifest my strong support for the privileged speech of Senator Raffy Tulfo on the continuing problem of illegal black sand mining. And after this manifestation, may I propound some questions. The issue raised involves serious environmental damage, the erosion of coastal protection, the steady destruction of livelihoods of our small fisher folks who depend on healthy nearshore ecosystems. The removal of black sand from coastal and seabed areas destabilizes shorelines, accelerates erosion, degrades fishing grounds that sustain coastal communities. Fishermen experience declining catch and are forced to venture farther out to sea, incurring higher costs and greater risk, while families face income loss and food insecurity. Coastal ecosystems that once served as natural buffers against storm surge and flooding are weakened, exposing nearby communities to greater harm during extreme weather events. Given this impact, the government must be steadfast in ensuring that activities involving black sand extraction are totally prohibited. The environmental and social cost far outweigh any claimed economic benefit, particularly when these activities compromise our food security, disaster resilience, and the long-term sustainability of our marine resources. Accountability must extend beyond private operators. Local government units that allow, tolerate, or fail to prevent these activities within their jurisdiction should be held to account. I therefore support the full investigation, firm legislative and regulatory action to prohibit black sand mining and the imposition of responsibility on all parties involved, including public officials who have allowed these practices to persist. The Senate must act decisively to protect our coastal communities, uphold environmental stewardship, and affirm that our natural resources are held in trust for the Filipino people. So I would like to extend and convey my support to the good sponsor for having brought this to the Senate's attention today, because according to Oceana, an international organization focused on oceans, around 98% of Philippine coral reefs are under threat, and about 70% are high to very high risk due to climate change, overfishing, and coastal pressures, underscoring the need for urgent protection. You mentioned about dredging, we talked about black sand mining, even coral reefs, which are the home, the ecosystem of the fish that our fisher folks catch for their daily needs is at risk as well. Ako po ay nakikiisa sa inyo sa pag-imbestiga ng lahat ng nagaganap na illegal na dredging o maski legal na siyang nakakasira sa ating ecosystem at nakakaapekto sa kinakain ng ating mga mangingisda. Binanggit din ni Senator Erwin Tulfo ang pangangailangan sa pagsiyasat, gaya ng sabi nyo, bagamat tama ang dredging sa ibang bagay. Of course, riverbeds sometimes have to be dredged, lakes have to be dredged. But what Senator Erwin Tulfo mentioned na hindi lang to environmental aspect, o kayo ba ang nagbanggit? I don't know which Tulfo mentioned this, but it must have a BFAR clearance as well, because it may be environmentally legal, but what if it affects our food from the ocean? So kailangan po ay maliwanag na koordinasyon ayon sa siyensya, ayon sa pagkain, ayon sa hinuhuli ng ating mga mangingisda. I recall there's this group in Zambales. I'm not sure if it's the same group that has been asking you, that has been complaining about black sand mining. I brought it up several times to the DNR, but they claim that the group complaining do not belong to that area or do not own the land, and they said that this black sand mining is part of the dredging operation to improve the ecosystem. So it's not clear to me, and whether the people complaining have a valid legal title to the land is beside the point. Ang mahalaga ay nakakasama ba, at binanggit pa sa akin ng grupong kausap natin ay Chinese vessels daw ang kumukuha ng black sand doon at dinadala kung saan. What part of Zambales is this?
Yung sa Zambales, wala silang letter of objection.
Not sure, yes. Yeah. It must have been the same group. So, ang pangangalaga sa ating mga coastal ecosystems, iba pa ang pangangalaga sa ating mga bakawan at ating mga mangroves, ang pangangalaga sa ating coral reefs na bahay ng ating mga isda. Ang dami-daming dapat alagaan, bantayan, and I agree with you that the DNR and the local governments must not be reactive. Hindi lang pag nawasak na, pag meron ng pumasok na mga barko, pag sinisira na o kinuha na, doon lang mag-iimbestigasyon. It must be protection and prevention rather than curative and investigation. And so, with that, I just ask the good sponsor, ano ba ho ang mga kailangang polisiya, or maybe not a policy, what must we do with urgency so that all these illegal and harmful extraction from our marine ecosystems will stop, so that our fisher folks who are benefiting, of course, from our the food that they gather from the seas will be protected. Ano po ang inyong rekomendasyon?
Thank you, Mr. President. Before I would answer your question, you did mention about a group that came to my office to complain at sinabi po ng provincial government ng Zambales na bakit ka nagreklamo, hindi naman you don't belong here, hindi naman kayo taga rito. Ang pangalan po ng grupo ay Pamalakaya. And itong grupong ito ay very concerned sa ating environment, although some of them do belong to that area and others does not. Pero ang maganda rito, sila po ay isang grupo na mayroong pagmamahal sa ating kalikasan. Now, in answer to your question na ano pong dapat gawin, ang nangyari kasi every time na meron pong mga dredging operations, wala pong coordination ang DNR sa BIFAR. Very important po yun na sana bago magkaroon ng dredging operations kahit sa ang parte ng Pilipinas, it involves dredging sa whether sabihin nila river mouth, and then later on naman, cover up lang nila yon. Ang target talaga nila, black sand like you said, then yung sa dagat na, and then naapektuhan yung mga coral reefs. Dapat merong letter of no objections from the BIFAR. Ang nangyari kasi, more often than not, sila po ay gumagawa ng dredging at wala man lang paalam o coordination with BIFAR. At ang masama pa nito, itong mga nagde-dredge, gumagawa ng dredging, black sand, mga Chinese vessels, tama po kayo, at yung mga buhangin natin dito, yung mga black sands dito, dinadala sa China. So kinukuha na nga nila yung West Philippine Sea, pati ba naman yung mga buhangin natin, kukunin pa rin nila, pati yung mga isda natin, papatayin nila. So it is really very important that BIFAR has to be consulted, and BIFAR needs to inspect and assess kung hanggang saan lang ba pwede mag-dredge yung isang nag-apply ng permit for dredging. Pero ang nangyari sa ngayon, Mr. President, before is not even been being consulted o kahit man lang isaalang-alang nila na sana kausapin, because BIFAR is the lone agency that knows better when it comes to the environment, when it comes to our fisher folks, na kapakanan natin mga fisher folks, and of course, yung mga laman dagat kung sa ika nga nila. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much for that statement. May I add, Mr. President, that reported black sand mining sites in the country would be in provinces but not limited to in Leyte, Cagayan, Pangasinan, and Zambales, according to reports. And it also suggests there is a report that the DNR classified the environment impact study for the Zambales dredging project under a department order way back in 2019 as a non-environmentally critical project. So I'm not sure why the DNR keeps on saying it's a non-ECP, yet research from marine organizations say that dredging at the river mouth may have caused the erosion in those areas. So these were old studies, but it's still relevant up to now. And in May this year, I understand that there was an investigation into claims made by the NICA, the National Intelligence Coordinating Agency, that the sand used, I'm not certain, but this is a report, in China's reclamation projects in the West Philippine Sea may have been sourced from our nation's coastal areas. So I also understand that there's a bill pending in the House of Representatives that prohibits black sand mining. I'm not sure if we have a counterpart here. Just so that we all understand, black sand mining extracts valuable minerals like magnetite and zircon from black sand deposits on beaches or riverbeds, often found near volcanic areas, but this is highly controversial due to severe environmental damage, including coastal erosion, flooding, ecosystem destruction, and land subsidence, leading to widespread illegal operations in the Philippines. And communities suffer loss of livelihood and increased vulnerability to natural disasters. And so I would join Your Honor in an investigation, not just with the DNR as resource, but perhaps the Pamalakaya and even militant grassroots organization who know the situation in the far-flung rural areas, especially in marine areas, marine protected areas.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. That's why sa next hearing sa environment, gusto ko pong ipatawag yung mga taga-DNR para we'll conduct an audit as to the numbers of dredging operations nationwide, and if these dredging operations, sila ba ay kumuha ng tinatawag na letter of no objection sa BFAR, kasi nakasaad naman sa kanilang administrative order number 2022-02 na sa lahat ng dredging operations dapat, especially kung involved sa dagat, kailangan merong coordination sila sa BFAR, kumukuha sila ng letter of no objection. Now, ang pagkakaalam ko po, karamihan sa mga dredging operations, walang letter of no objections kinukuha ang DNR sa BFAR.
Thank you, Mr. President. I will stop at that because the questions are endless, and I will join you in the hearing. And we would want the DNR and the BFAR to submit preliminarily a list where there is black sand. I only had 4 provinces. Saan pa may availability ng black sand at saan may ongoing legal dredging ng black sand, at ano ang basihan ng kanilang ECC, and what is the impact to our fisher folks and to coastal erosion that negatively or adversely impacts on the fish or whatever catch is available in that area. And perhaps we could also involve or include the UPMSI, the Marine Science Institute, very credible academic institution. So thank you for bringing this up once again. I join you in this shared advocacy. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. President.
With the permission of the senators, Senator Lacson is recognized to interject.
Thank you, Mr. President. With the permission of the sponsor and the gentle lady from Antique, very quickly, Mr. President, in other words, triple whammy effect sa ating bansa ito. Number 1, environmental, because nasisira nga yung ating coral reefs and everything. Number 2, economic, kasi yung ating livelihood ng mga fisher folk. And number 3, security, kasi yung kinukuhang sand, kinukuhang lupa, binibigay pa natin sa China para mag-reclaim, maggawa ng mga artificial islands, no? Para andito na lang sila sa tabi natin, tabi-tabi. So I just want to put that on record, Mr. President, for the consideration of the sponsor when he calls for a committee hearing to confront the DNR officials and other personalities involved. It's all driven by greed, Mr. President. No? Hindi na inisip yung, never mind the environment, probably, pero yung security aspect, that's, well, I could say this is tantamount to treason because you're aiding a foreign country which is actually a threat to our national security. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, Senator Risa Ontiveros is recognized.
Salamat po, Mr. President. Just a brief manifestation ng pagpapasalamat sa nag-deliver ng privilege speech, at intention ko pong sumama din kay Senator Loren at sa ating Senate President Pro Tempore na lumahok dun sa pagdinig na gaganapin dun sa speech ng good gentleman mula sa Isabela. Dahil po, equally dun sa ecological, economic at saka security consideration. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Tulfo. The Majority Leader.
O ito, pakinggan natin sasabihin ng kapatid ni Senator Rapi Tulfo na si Senator Erwin Tulfo. Galit na galit din to sa China eh. Pinapalayas na nga yung mga yun nung nakarampa.
Majority Leader, we see the hands raised by Senator Erwin Tulfo and then Senator Loren Legarda. Senator Erwin Tulfo was first. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With the indulgence of Senator Loren Legarda. Pinapahayag ko po ang aking buong suporta at pakikiisa sa mga mangingisda ng Zambales na nagpahayag na seryosong pangamba kaugnay ng patuloy na dredging operations sa kanilang mga baybayin na malinaw po na nakaapekto sa kanilang kabuhayan at sa kalusugan ng ating yaman dagat. Kung papahintulutan po nating magpatuloy ang ganitong mga gawain, wala nang malinaw na pananagutan. Mabibigo po tayong tuparin ang ating tungkulin ay pagtanggol ang kapakanan ng mamayan at ang karapatan ng sambayanan. sa balanced and healthful ecology na malinaw na itinakda ng ating saligang batas. Umaasa po ako na tinatawagan ng pansin ang Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Galaw-galaw naman po dyan at kumilos, baka kayo po ay ma-stroke. Ang dami na po nating mga problema, ang dami pong mga issues. Patungkol po, lately dito po sa Cebu, na gumuho po. Hindi ko po maintindihan bakit pinayagan na magtayo ng isang gusali. Sa likuran nito ay isang gabundok na basura kung saan marami po ang namatay. And before that, Mr. President, yung problema din po dito sa Sierra Madre, hindi pa po nagagawa ng solusyon. Patuloy po ang pagkakalbo ng ilang mga minahan dyan sa lugar na yan. At marami pa pong iba, Ginoong Pangulo. Kaya po, panawagan ko po sa DNR na kumilos na bago mahuli ang lahat. Ganon din po, umaasa po ako sa ating Senate Committee on Environment na matutukan po ang usaping ito. Maraming salamat po, Mr. President.
Ngayon kayo bilang Pilipino, ano ang masasabi nyo at reaksyon sa balitang ito? Mag-iwan kayo ng komento sa ibaba at atin niyang babasahin isa-isa.